Adam, the White Hair Master. Season 2. Episode 20. In the previous episode, we followed Adam in finding and helping Jace defeat the evil wizard. The three of them enjoyed their meal together before Sarah dropped Jace off at the airport. The following day, Sarah arrived very early to take Adam to an appointment. Accordingly, there is a family with some problems related to spirituality and needs help from Adam. Recently, the landlady has also gradually learned something about the work that Adam is doing. Now she no longer misunderstands Adam when he goes out at night, but she still couldn't hide her admiration whenever a car came to pick up Adam. This time is still very early, so Sarah knows that Adam has not had time to eat breakfast, which is thoughtful, so she has prepared breakfast for Adam. Sarah has to hurry because the people who ask Sarah for help are so worried that they almost can't wait any longer. While eating the bread Sarah bought for him, Adam inquired about the people who contacted Sarah. Accordingly, the story this time involves a 10-year-old boy. A few days ago, he constantly encountered strange fire-related things. The boy's parents fear that if the matter is not resolved soon, the boy's life will most likely be in danger. The troubled boy named Tony is currently living with his parents in a downtown apartment complex. The whole family's life was initially very typical until a strange thing happened one evening a few days ago. Just like any other typical evening, after having dinner together, Tony's parents watch TV together before going to bed, and Tony goes back to his room to study. While Tony's parents were watching TV happily, Tony's screams were suddenly heard, accompanied by a cry for help. This startled Tony's parents. Immediately, the couple rushed to their son's room. Tony's father immediately pushed open the door and entered. What was happening in the room made the two of them panic. On Tony's bed, for some reason, there was a fire. The fire spread faster and faster on the blanket on the bed, and Tony was extremely scared. He crouched in the corner of the wall to avoid the heat radiating from the fire. Tony's father immediately took action before the fire could reach the mattress below. He quickly dragged the burning blanket to the floor and used his feet to put out the fire. Fortunately, it didn't take long, so the fire was quickly extinguished. Although the fire was not significant, Tony was extremely scared. The boy couldn't help but burst into tears. His mother had to pick him up and comfort him from his fear. As for Tony's parents, both find it difficult to understand why a fire can burn in their son's room like that. Feeling her son had begun to calm down, Tony's mother immediately asked Tony about what had just happened. She suspected her son was mischief causing the fire. But the boy insisted that he had done nothing. When the fire broke out, he was still sitting on his desk and had never touched the bed. Initially, Tony was an obedient boy. He had never lied before, so his parents completely believed what he said. In addition, despite a thorough examination of the remains of the fire, Tony's father still could not find the cause. The following day, the boy calmed down and went to school as usual. At this time, the boy's parents were also working. While working at the company, Tony's mother's phone suddenly rang. Realizing that the number called was from the elementary school that Tony was attending, Tony's mother immediately answered the phone. But just seconds after answering the phone, Tony's mother was screaming in panic. Tony's mother was so panicked because the school had just announced that her son had just been injured in a school fire. Tony's mother immediately informed her husband and left work. The two hurriedly ran to the school their son was attending. As soon as he saw his parents, Tony burst into tears. His face still had a trace of fear that made his parents feel pity. Tony's parents immediately noticed the shoulder of their child's shirt, on which there was still a large scratch, the remains of a fire. When he saw his son's condition like that, Tony's father was furious. Unable to contain himself, he repeatedly raised his voice at Tony's class teacher. But Tony's teacher himself could not explain this. Everything happened suddenly, and there were no warning signs. Feeling that her husband was slowly losing his temper, Tony's mother tried to calm her husband. She then asked Tony's teacher to take her to the security room to check the security surveillance cameras in her son's classroom. Security guards immediately retrieve images from security cameras and find the time of the incident. According to the recorded images, the incident took place during the break, after Tony finished going to the bathroom. On the way back to the classroom, suddenly the shoulder of his shirt caught fire. Seeing what happened on the screen, Tony's parents couldn't help but be startled. Neither of them could explain what had just happened to their son. Tony's father immediately recalled the previous night's events and guessed that it would be similar to this. After the incident, the school that Tony is attending asked his parents to take the boy home. Fearing that something similar would happen again, the school asked Tony's parents to sort things out before sending him back to school. During this time, Tony's parents also took time off work to teach their son to study and supervise the boy to avoid unfortunate things. But this is also only a temporary solution, not for long. While watching Tony study, the boy's parents discussed finding a way to solve this problem. A lot of measures have been proposed, but none of them work. Suddenly Tony's father remembered Sarah. He told his wife that he had heard Sarah tell about a friend who could solve spiritual problems. The couple immediately contacted Sarah to seek help. Sarah just told Adam all she heard from Tony's parents. Sarah continued driving without saying anything more. For his part, Adam also silently pondered what he had just heard. Soon, the car arrived at the apartment complex where Tony's family was living. After driving the car into the basement, Sarah led Adam to Tony's apartment. Almost as soon as the doorbell rang, Tony's father opened the door, which meant that he was eagerly awaiting Adam's arrival. After a brief greeting, Tony's father immediately led Adam into his son's room. Although this is a bit impolite, Adam fully sympathizes with Tony's father. While Adam surveyed the room, Tony's father said that the same thing happened again last night. Fortunately, the couple was always by their son's side, so Tony was not injured. Hearing these things, Adam realized that things were becoming more and more profound. He immediately closed his eyes and mumbled a few incantations. When Adam opened his eyes, his divine eye was awakened. Recently, Adam has had more and more control over his yin-yang eyes. Now he no longer had to resort to the help of willow leaves to open his yin-yang eyes.